It was December the 8th, and the rut was pretty much in full swing. And the opening day of the rifle hunt, I decided to go into an area where I saw a big buck. I almost ran him over with the truck on my way to hunt up on top of the bow. And I did notice when I would leave the top of the mountain at night, there was a whole lot of deer on some private property and some hay fields and stuff. So I decided to set up in there on the public where I thought they were bedding. 50 yards from the truck, I started to come across some really hot signs, some good scrapes, big rubs. So I was intrigued at this point. I went about another 250 yards, and at that point, I'd come across an old logging road down below the bench, and there was a pretty good edge of laurel and some thick stuff right up above me. I was kind of walking through the edge of it. So I hit a point where there's a real steep ditch and some good trails coming off around both sides of the ditch. So I got up in the tree in the saddle right there. By 8:30, I hadn't seen anything. I'd heard a couple of shots pretty far off from me, so I knew that I was probably alone in that area. So I got the grunt call out, grunted a couple of times, kicked some limbs around, made some noise, just sat there and see what would happen. About 5 minutes later, I saw legs coming through the laurel and could see a pretty good G2. So I got ready to shoot, and this buck stopped and was standing there inside the edge of just a bunch of thick stuff. And he was staring down below me at the logging road. And I'm guessing that he thought there was a buck down there on that logging road, but he was looking because he couldn't smell where I was at or the logging road. The wind was coming off the top of the mountain, and he just stood there like a statue for a few minutes. And I tried to squeeze a shot off and all that thick stuff. You can see right here when I shot, the buck just stood there for a second, motionless. So I was pretty confident I'd missed him or I'd hit a limb or something. And he ran away, he ran out of sight. So I give him a little while. I decided to climb down and start looking for blood, looking for any signs that I'd hit him. When I made my way over to where he was standing at when I shot, it was only about 60 yards from my tree, but I had to cross a steep ditch and climb up the ridge back that he was standing on. I could barely walk it, which just goes to show you how tough these mountain deer are and the type of habitat that they can live in. Sure enough, I didn't see any blood, any hair, anything other than some tracks he'd kicked up running off and a big fresh pile of poop. So I guess I scared the poop out of him. But I trailed his tracks for probably 300 yards around the rim of the mountain. Never found any blood. So I was very confident I had missed him. Over the next couple of days, I made my way back in there a few times just to for a grid search, look for a body, look for vultures, anything, coyotes. Never found any sign of the buck. Actually ended up getting a picture of the buck after the season in there, so I know he survived clean, and I'm happy about that. The moral of the story is to be patient when you're taking a shot, even with a rifle. And if something happens, it's just deer hunting. The more you hunt, the more you're going to have stuff like this happen over time. So don't be discouraged. Here's the buck out living his best life after the season. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to Georgia Highlander. Thank you.